Hey everybody, welcome to Play, Ranked, Share, the show where I play the marquee PlayStation 5 titles, create an ever-evolving ranking of the best PlayStation 5 games, and share my opinions with you. My name is Tyrus, and this episode is focused on the underrated games released on the PlayStation 5 in 2021. There were many great games that released in 2021 that got their moment in the spotlight. From It Takes Two to Guardians of the Galaxy to Kena Bridge of Spirits, developers are creating unique experiences on the PlayStation 5, and the gaming press and audiences are taking notice. However, with a constant stream of games being released throughout the year, for one reason or another, some games can fall through the cracks. In this video, I want to bring some attention to games that I don't think got enough credit in 2021. This includes some games I personally didn't even post reviews for on the channel, due to prioritizing games that were more talked about at the time. I have looked through the list of PlayStation 5 games I beat this year, and I have selected 5 games that I think every PS5 gamer should at least check out to see if it's something they're interested in. As I highlighted in a recent standalone episode of Play, Ranked, Share, I don't think Death's Door is getting the proper attention it deserves on the PS5. Death's Door is quietly one of the best PlayStation 5 titles to come to the console this year. While it got its moment in the sun when originally launching on Xbox and PC earlier in the year, Death's Door came to the PS5 in mid-November, and I don't think it's getting praised enough. This game does a masterclass of introducing difficulty to a player and continually scaling up to the point where it remains challenging but never feels unfairly hard. The difficulty complemented the fast-paced action sequences you continually find yourself in while playing as an unnamed crow. The game also has expertly designed dungeons, so if you die at any point, you will spawn not too far away from where you were defeated. The game has a bleak color palette while exploring the 4 different hub areas, but is contrasted by uniquely designed and bright characters that you meet along your way. I absolutely recommend Death's Door for fans of more classic action-adventure games, especially if you like a spice of difficulty thrown in as well. Next up is a game I cannot believe didn't generate more hype at release, especially since they had a marketing promotion with PlayStation, and that game is Forged in Shadow Torch, also known as F.I.S.T. F.I.S.T is a modern Metroidvania game where you play as Raymond, a technically modified anthropomorphic rabbit who's attempting to save his world. A robotic legion is threatening the existence of his people, and the war veteran gears up with his signature giant fist to fight this movement. It offers a very engaging Metroidvania experience, and I enjoyed slowly unlocking his world and exploring a variety of set pieces. I found the gameplay very satisfying with 3 different weapons to cycle through based on your situation. This game doesn't overstay its welcome either. It took me 11 hours to beat, which is a great length for a game in this genre. While F.I.S.T is great fun to play, it by no means is a perfect game. I found myself constantly backtracking due to a bad fast travel system. Similarly, the game has a large difficulty spike towards the end of the game. This had me stuck on several late-stage boss battles, which got frustrating at times, but I also found really satisfying when I developed a working strategy to finally overcome the boss. Overall, I think fans of this genre will have an awesome time playing F.I.S.T, and it continually spices up the formula throughout the game just enough to stay engaged the entire way through, and I thought it was a very good game. The Forgotten City has had an incredible journey from Skyrim mod to one of the best indie releases on the PS5 in 2021. For the uninitiated, The Forgotten City is a time loop adventure game where you attempt to save a town where everyone turns to gold if any of them sin. As a character from the future, you must uncover the mystery and try to save everyone in the town. I really enjoyed exploring the small world created in The Forgotten City and learning the backstories and personalities of the 20 or so characters you meet along the way. The game has 4 different endings, and the one I got has some big plot twists that kept me hooked throughout my journey. This mystery solving system was a delight to play from start to finish and took me about 6 hours to complete. I found this iteration of the time loop mechanic very satisfying in a year where time loop games were just coming out of the sky, releasing every month. It was so satisfying to find out one detail about one of the characters in the Forgotten City, and all of a sudden that led you to solving 3 different problems in this secluded town. The characters you meet aren't the most fleshed out, but they each have distinct personalities, and I enjoyed listening to them banter amongst each other at different points in the story. I think the art direction and graphics of this game aren't really strong, with some indie games such as Death's Door or Chicory having better art direction. But if you are a fan of solving mysteries within games, I highly recommend that you check out The Forgotten City.
Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you.
If you are a fan of our flagship show on the channel, The Co-op Couch, you might have watched us play through House of Ashes recently. Made by Until Dawn developer Supermassive Games, House of Ashes is a 5-hour choose-your-own-adventure style game with horror elements. Following a group of soldiers in Iraq who find themselves in ancient tombs, House of Ashes does a great job building tension as you play, knowing that if you make a mistake, it can lead to your character's death. I also like the modern day Iraq setting for this game, as it feels like untreaded ground for a horror game. While there aren't too many moments where I felt truly scared while playing, I did feel tense when going through the action sequences of the game. Supermassive also does a good job humanizing your set of protagonists, making them complex characters and not just stereotypes. That said, overall I think the story does fall flat in some regard, and I was left without closure with my ending. Also, this is another game that doesn't have impressive graphics, and I thought the facial animations in particular weren't that great. Supermassive Games has been in a bit of a rut since releasing Until Dawn in 2014, but I think House of Ashes marks an upswing in quality for the studio. I'm looking forward to their next release, The Devil in Me, coming out next fall. If you aren't familiar with Supermassive's style of games and are intrigued by the choose-your-own-adventure style, I think House of Ashes is a great jumping-in point. Finally, on my list of underappreciated games is Riders Republic. This extreme sport open-world game just simply hasn't gotten enough love by the gaming industry. Offering 5 different career tracks to tackle, the game is quite literally an extreme playground that you can explore in. I was particularly impressed with the skiing controls, they just felt so good as you were riding down a mountain. I was enamored with the gameplay of Riders Republic and keep going back to it just to do tricks down the mountain. The developers also nailed the setting for this type of game. With ski mountains, forests, and deserts aplenty, the world is also constantly populated with ghost player data, and the hub centers around a party vibe that's just perfect for this game. This is an extreme open world game that gives the player a lot to do, to the point where it can be a bit overwhelming. The map, in typical Ubisoft fashion, is sprinkled with hundreds of different challenges for your player to undertake. One career path is air events where you use a rocket suit or wingsuit, and I wasn't particularly fond of these modes. If you're looking for a sports-based game that has plenty to do though, I don't think you can go wrong picking up Riders Republic. Those who have watched Play Ranked Share before know that I keep an ongoing list of what I think the best PlayStation 5 games on the console are. Death's Door and Riders Republic have already been ranked at number 5 and number 12 respectively, but it's time to add the other games. The Forgotten City creates a fun murder mystery style gameplay loop that isn't often seen in games, and creates mechanics that gives the player plenty opportunity to fail and not have consequences for it. This unique game approach led me to rank the Forgotten City at number 16. F.I.S.T is a great Metroidvania-style game that is held back by lackluster navigation systems and a difficulty spike at the end that made the game frustrating to beat, but overall I did really enjoy my time with it and decided to rank it at number 19. House of Ashes is a fun choose-your-own-adventure style game that keeps thrills coming left and right, and I decided to rank it at number 20 on the list of best PlayStation 5 games. I will have the full list of games posted in the comments below, so be sure to check that out if you are interested. Thank you for watching this episode of Play, Ranked, Share. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when future episodes are released. Stay tuned as our 2021 wrap-up videos continue on with biggest disappointments, AA game highlights, and the all-important Game of the Year episode still on the horizon. What's your underrated PS5 Game of the Year? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, don't stop sharing.